This spaghetti is like a triple threat umami bomb. There's miso, there's mushrooms, there's parmesan, all the things combined create one epic pasta. Okay, let's talk about the mushrooms first. And I have this gorgeous array of all these different mushrooms. You could choose whatever's at your local farmer's market or supermarket. I've got some shimeji Japanese mushrooms here, and I just need to cut the base off those. Now I've also got some oyster mushrooms, and these are so cute. In Thai we call them het nang fa, which means angel mushroom. Just love that. Now I just like to cut the bottom stem of these is a bit tough, so I cut that off, and then I just like to tear these by hand, so I think it gives them a better texture, just the larger pieces. Now time for the king mushroom. These guys have so much flavour, and boy do they love butter. Mushrooms and butter. Something so special about that combination. So I just want to slice these. I'm just going to cut sort of bigger pieces into smaller bite-sized pieces. And I've got a few button mushrooms here. Now don't think you've got to go out and get like a billion mushrooms to make this pasta. It's just as good if you just use one or two types, or even just a plain button mushroom like these ones. And the shiitakes. Now the stem on the shiitake is also a little bit tough for me, so I take those off and then just slice those. And finally, some enoki mushrooms. And I love the texture of these. They go all silky and soft, but I'm going to leave them separate to the others because they just need to go in at the last minute, otherwise they overcook a little. Okay, so that's my mushrooms all done and prepared. So now we're going to get on to the pasta sauce. Now butter first, and then just a little dash of vegetable oil. You could use olive oil as well. Once that butter is foaming, I'm going to add my mushrooms in, and then just a little bit of salt. So the miso is going to be salty, so we just want a little bit here just to help draw out the moisture from those mushrooms. And now just let these sit for a while. I really want to get a bit of colour on the bottom of these, so I'm not going to mess around with them too much at the beginning. Now I can start to smell that butter and mushroom caramelization happening, so I'm going to turn these over. And already we're seeing some lovely golden colour. So at this point I want to get my spaghetti started, and I'm going to really heavily salt that water. Always salt your water for pasta. Let's grab my spaghetti. Okay, just let that bubble away. And now that I've got the lovely colour on my mushroom, I'm going to add the garlic now, because sometimes I find if I add it at the beginning, it burns before I get the mushrooms cooked properly. Right, now these mushrooms have a beautiful colour, they're nice and soft. Time to add my miso paste. So this is just a white miso paste, or a shiro miso paste. And then I want to scoop off a whole bunch of that pasta water. Try and get the part where it's foamy, because that's got the starch. And that goes into our pan to make the sauce. So at this point you do want the sauce to be quite liquidy. I'm going to cook this pasta al dente, or just before al dente, and then I'm going to finish the cooking off in the pan, and that pasta is going to soak up all of that awesome liquid. Okay, pasta's looking good. I'm going to get that straight into these mushrooms. And now I leave the heat on, and then I'm just going to stir everything together. And just like magic, that pasta is going to soak up that sauce, and everything is going to get super creamy and luscious. And I want to add in those enoki mushrooms. They'll just cook at the last second. And some spring onion. Generous grating of parmesan cheese. Now that is one good looking pan of pasta. Now all we need is a giant bowl. Pile it all up, and one more little sprinkling of parmesan.